Hi, everybody. It's Linda G. and our Sunday with Sterling.
Hello. Good morning,
Hey,
everybody, or good
Sterling.
evening, wherever you are.
Congratulations on winning not winning, getting 19,000 followers.
Yeah, we just crossed that threshold. I think it was earlier this week. So we actually picked two winners, one for a reading with myself and one for a reading with you. And they're actually announced on my channel. So I don't have the names in front of me right now, but yeah, congratulations for the two winners.
All right, my friend. We got great questions from everybody.
Okay, great. And thanks.
How's the weather down in Southern California?
It's doing okay. No complaints. It's moderate. It was a heat wave. I think you had a heat wave too, right?
No.
The last week.
No.
We had a bit of a heat wave the week before. But,
Dang, no, we didn't.
Yeah.
It's been rained last week and
okay.
But it's in the 30s.
Yeah.
Well, and the sun is out though, so it's crisp and it's cold. I love that kind of weather.
East Coast weather.
Yeah. Okay, here we go, my friend. From the other side, is there a message from Ann Richard, the former governor of Texas?
Yes, there is. And, it's funny. She was a very outspoken person in a good way. But what comes up around her right now is she's just saying she's actually flabbergasted by the fact that so many people in the GOP are worshiping a demagogue.
Yeah.
And she said in her time in office, she've never seen so many sheep, so to speak, following a demagogue. Yeah. And so look, she's kind of funny right now. She's saying everybody needs to put on their big girl and big boy pants and like bear up right now, because if you don't bear up right now, I think she's talking to the Republicans, the GOP. If you don't bear up now, all of us, it's gonna be too late by 2024. We're gonna have a good outcome, but she's just saying everybody's got to really jump on it now because, and she just said that anybody that keeps following 45, he's gonna lead you right over a cliff. Ooh. So now is the time to wake up.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, Russia blowing up satellites and endangering the International Space Station. Why? And they had Russians on the International Space Station.
Yeah. Well, what I'm being told is these are ballistic missile tests to test the abilities to take down critical communication satellites for other nations. So this was a test to see if they could do it. And yes, I mean, they have their eyes on Chinese satellites and US satellites to try to bring down communication. So it's a ballistic missile test. Yeah.
Would they actually be dumb enough to do something like that?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. And then what's the payback? Do we start hitting them too?
Well, I think it's gonna require a little bit of a tit for tat. It will, but the U.S. is already aware of this threat. In fact, I remember reading about it 4 or 5 years ago, the threat of bringing down our communication satellites. But now Russia's getting more bold with their tests. So we have redundancy, which means we have backup satellites and whatnot. So we can recover, but it's it's going to get messy. We'll get messy.
Right. Do we have the ability to blow them up?
We certainly have the ability to take down any satellites that we need to that are orbiting the Earth. We do, yeah. No matter who they belong to.
Like a stupid decision on their part. You may get a little bit of a yay, I did it, and then they're going to pay back. The payback will be huge.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, there have been some concerns with Camila Harris office staff bringing frustrated with her, huh? I don't understand that question. There are some concerns with Camila Harris's office staff bringing frustrated with her. That makes no sense.
Sounds like whoever asked the question is trying to say there are concerns over her staff being frustrated with her. I think that's my read.
Oh, okay. Because I saw bringing frustrated with her. That was like, what? What might be behind that?
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, this question comes up a lot, and what
I didn't even know they were frustrated with her.
Yeah, and what I see every time I look at this with Biden is that he actually, in a good way, told her to stand down. So her staff is frustrated with her because they're not getting their agenda played out, But Biden said, please, Kamala, stand down just so I can get these bills through Congress. We don't create any other adversarial positions around immigration or whatnot. Let's take care of these a bit at a time.
Okay.
I do feel Kamala is going to have her time to shine beginning of next year. So it's
Okay,
gonna
cool.
start,
All right. Will the government shut down December 3rd, 2021?
I get it's going to be a standoff again, just like it's been in the past. But at the last minute, the golden hour, they'll renew the budget. So yeah, no, it looks like it's going to be another game of chicken. But they won't shut down the government.
You know what? I guess Trump was really laid into McConnell. He's very rude and mean to him. But he said, you better not allow them to come up with the government, money. And that day that he wrote that, McConnell met with President Biden to discuss it, and Chuck Schumer.
Yeah, what's interesting, it'll do just as much harm to the GOP as it will the Democrats have let the government shut down all the value of U.S. The credit ratings around the world, and it won't be good for anybody.
No. What do you think Mark Meadows will be indicted for, not showing up with his subpoena?
And was that when
He didn't show up like Bannon. It wasn't too far.
Got it. They are telling me there's some sort of a grand jury.
Yeah, they did. That's the one who did Bannon.
Yeah. But now I see around Mark Meadows, it looks like some grand jury discussions and something going on around Mark Meadows. So they're not going to let it lie. No.
Good. Do you see moderate Republicans winning the governor's seat in 2022, Texas and Florida?
I do. It looks like there will be Republicans placed back in. There will be more moderate. They will. That's Texas and Florida was the question, right?
Yeah. You don't see Beto winning Texas?
No, I do not. No, I see him getting very close. And I see that the momentum that he picks up with running for governor does him a lot of good. And I've always seen him getting a seat in Congress, well, it looks like Ted Cruz's seat in 2024. Well, it looks like he'll end up in Congress, but he won't end up in a governor position to me. No.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
I kind of see him getting it.
Well, he gets very close, but I'm going to tell you that there's just enough cheating going on in Texas that
but that other jerk isn't going to win.
No, there'll be another moderate Republican that'll replace him.
Oh, by the way, they were all mad at the guy that won Virginia, Youngkin.
Yeah.
The Republicans are calling him a rhino and everything because he won't say no more masks and all that. They're already calling them names.
Yeah, and I think somebody said he had an LBGTQ person on his staff, and they
were just whatever.
Right. So anyway, it's terrible. Yeah.
Will Pence be subpoenaed and will he testify?
They just told me yes, and behind closed doors. So they will subpoena him, and they're going to try to work some sort of a deal. Like he said, look, I can't go out in public or something. I can't. So they're going to get some sort of closed door testimony from him. I do see it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Jared made a last minute trip to Middle East during the last weeks of the presidency. Was he setting up a house or an escape plan for the Trump family?
100% an exit strategy, 100%. So it's a backup plan, which I've always believed here that 45 will at some point transact, and he will do when things get too hot or he feels like he can't get out of the problems here. He will go to the Middle East.
I never saw him running for president. And I never saw them putting him in jail.
Correct.
So that would make sense. He either dies or he transfers to another country. Mm-hmm. There's a colorectal cancer vaccine in human trials now. Will we see the end of this deadly cancer for one day?
Within 5 years, that vaccine is going to start to go into use. So whether this is more clinical trials, but more heavy use. And then right at 5-6 year point here from where we are right now, it's going to start to turn the page on colorectal cancer. It will. Yeah.
Wow. That's great.
And they just told me, and I'm not a doctor, but it's identification of some gene that causes it. So they identify the gene and then they're able to make it work.
And what about Alzheimer's, if I could throw that out there?
Mhm.
Didn't you say eventually they'd have something for Alzheimer's?
Yeah, and that for me, that's more like 10 years from where we are right now. But there's going to be a ramp up to that. So there'll be a lot of clinical trials in the 6, 7, 8 year time frame. And then by around 10 years, we'll have something that works for that too. Yeah.
Fantastic. Will Nancy Pelosi keep her job next year? Didn't she promise she wouldn't run again?
I don't know anything about that, but it looks like she keeps her job. It looks like she does stay in. So it's like maybe she hesitates and says, look, I don't want to do it again. And there's enough of her
Well, no,
colleagues
she
say,
promised them that if they voted her in, she wouldn't run again.
yeah, well, I'm seeing she's in again. So I'm not sure if we're saying
Okay.
the same thing. She ends up
Vote
being
for her
in
again. Vote for her.
Yeah. I see a lot of her colleagues saying you have to do it. You have to do
Yeah,
it.
because she's pretty good at getting stuff done.
She is.
My question is, will inflation continue to be a problem in our country? And how long will it last?
Inflation's going to be with us for like a solid 12 months. But the reason is there's always three factors that guide inflation. It's a supply chain problem. So it's a shortage of goods, which we're going through right now. It's going to take a good 6 to 12 months to get through that. But then there's also high demand. So we have a shortage of goods, you have high demand, that's going to continue. And then you have a lot of money chasing those goods. So that's what drives up all the inflation. Yeah, so about 12 months, by the time we get towards the end of next year, it's going to be much more normalized.
Okay, great. Gary Palmer, Alabama, voted no on the infrastructure bill, but is now taking credit for it. They always do that. Do his constituents realize what he's doing? And do they care?
No, they completely understand what he's doing. And actually, I get a lot of people that are angry with him. I think this is about what's it called, the Ballantine Highway or Ballantine Parkway, $360 million, something like that. But they're completely upset with him. They understand that because he didn't vote for the infrastructure bill, so he's going to be out in the next term. Yeah.
Okay. Can you send calming thoughts to others if they are worried, anxious, or panicking about something? If so, what is the best way to do that?
We can 100% send loving light, energy, and calmness to other people. You absolutely can. And it transacts through your guides and guardian angels to them and through the universe. It absolutely works. And everything moves at the speed of light on the other side.
Okay.
So anything that's a thought that even we have here, thoughts move at the speed of light as well. So that's the way you do it. That's very easy.
Okay. Will there be a war with Russia in Europe?
And that question was a war with Russia in Europe.
Yeah. Will there be a war with Russia in Europe? Will Europe turn against Russia?
Yeah, yeah. Well, what they're showing me is that there's going to be a number of skirmishes with Russia, even over the Ukraine. So things going on with the Ukraine again. So we're going to see skirmishes and saber rattling. Yeah, I mean that's what they're showing me. So I wouldn't call it a full-fledged war, but I certainly see a lot of saber rattling. Yeah.
Okay. Are children and young adults able to transition easily from 3D to 5D?
Anybody can. So
Okay.
there's no limitation on whether you're young or old or middle-aged. It's a matter of how you concentrate your thoughts and energetically move forward. Yeah, yeah.
Will Democrats pass the voting rights bill?
This has come up before. Yeah,
Yeah.
a couple of shows.
You've talked about.
Yeah, I still see that by the middle of next year, 2022, that For the People Act will get passed, but it's going to be negotiated. So there's going to be some things that are going to be changed in that bill, but it's through that negotiation process it gets to a place where it does get passed. Yeah.
Now, there's a bunch of lawsuits coming up on a lot of these places that are just overkill.
Mhm.
Obviously trying to stop people of color to vote,
Mhm.
going to their district and making it so hard it's impossible. Well, so do you think those lawsuits will help or stop this process?
Some of those lawsuits, and I don't know which ones they are, but if they have anything to do with gerrymandering, right? And the way
Yes.
the districts, I see a lot of the gerrymandering lawsuits being successful. The other types of lawsuits looks like they may not be as effective as the voting rights bill when it gets passed.
Okay.
So, yeah.
that when people were saying, what do you think is the most important thing for Joe Biden to concentrate on?
Mhm.
They said the voting rights.
Yeah, absolutely.
When we hear voices and our name being called during the precipice of being awake and falling asleep, is this spirit trying to connect with us?
Yes, I mean, not only spirit guides, but also family members. That's when right about the place where you're relaxing your logical mind and you're moving into the more higher level state. And absolutely, those are angels, guides, family members, even pets that can try to communicate with you. Yeah.
Okay. The country of El Salvador is using Bitcoin as the nation's currency. How will that work out for them?
Well, they're going to continue on with Bitcoin. They're going to add, looks like 2 other cryptocurrencies to me. You know, it's interesting. There are now 10,000 versions of cryptocurrency running around the world of digital exchange currency, 10,000. So they are going to move ahead with, it looks like 3 different cryptocurrencies. And I mean, they're going to continue on. I think that was the nature of the question. But I will tell you that within about 5 years here, there's going to be a more normalization of cryptocurrency. So there'll be maybe 2, 3, or maybe as many as 4 cryptocurrencies that are standardized. So
Okay.
not just Bitcoin. Yeah.
Okay. How best to help human beings everywhere?
That's interesting. I mean, it's really channeling the universe and divine energy and group prayer and those kinds of things, very large scale efforts to kind of bring together and angelic energy is the best way to do it. Yeah.
When enlightened beings come to Earth in human form, do they retain the memory of who they really are, or is that memory entirely removed, leaving them with the most vague sense of purpose? That's an interesting question.
Yeah. So I'm going to interpret that question when they say enlightened beings. These might be old souls. That's the interpretation I'm going to take there for that one. When you're an old soul and you come back, you don't retain all the memories of what went on before, but you do acclimate much faster to the work you have to do here on the earth. So it doesn't take you as long to understand how to communicate, work with guides and angels, to manifest. So it's like coming back down to earth as a child prodigy, where you could play, Mozart or Chopin at 5 years old. So you don't retain all the memories, but you acclimate much faster. Yeah.
Will the prosecution of Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, lead to significant progress to counter child trafficking?
Yes, I mean, absolutely, because a large part of what she was involved in for entertainment purposes only, was trafficking. And that's where a lot of money laundering took place, and the FBI and the federal government's already aware of all this. So these will all be part of some of the federal regulations that are going to come down to stem the tide of that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Will quantum computers kill cryptocurrency?
Some cryptocurrency fans out there.
I know.
No, quantum computing won't kill cryptocurrency. And quantum computing, just to get techie for a second, IBM made a major announcement this week around quantum computing. They can run faster than real time. And so quantum computers will eventually be able to break the algorithms, the security algorithms that are behind cryptocurrency. However, the cryptocurrencies are going to be modified so quantum computing can't break the blockchain security algorithm. So a little bit of a back and forth a little bit. So it's not going to kill cryptocurrency, but cryptocurrency will get modified to account for what's happening with quantum computing. Yeah.
Okay. Can cats heal us?
Absolutely. All animals, and I've said this before, they're from the angelic realm. They're here to help us. They're unconditional love. And they can also channel healing energy. Absolutely. So when you're feeling sick in bed, a lot of times animals, your dog, your cat will, come next to you, and they help focus your divine energy. Absolutely. Yeah.
When I was going through cancer, my dog Moochie used to lay right up against me.
Mhm.
Okay, do you see anything coming up next week?
I do, you know, we started to talk about this a little bit. I see somehow the grand jury involved with Kevin McCarthy, something going on with that. I do see Nancy Pelosi taking a much more public stage this week around things going on with the commission. Looks like another space accident, but there's something going on with the space accident here we're going to hear about. I don't know if it's a failure or it's a collision with something. It might be a failure based on
We're
some
doing all
collision.
this when Beza, whatever his name
Jeff,
is,
Jeff
and all
Bezos,
these guys were going, I could see psychically some sort of tragedy.
yeah, with some sort of space accident. I'm not sure this is all
Yeah.
about here, but you know, and I always hate to bring this up, but it looks like there's some other school shooting that's going on, and I always hope these never happen. But there's
Okay.
something there that they're pushing me forward on. So
Okay.
yeah.
Do you have any information that your guides want to share?
Yeah, simply put, take time to share your gifts to uplift those around you, right? Take time to share your gifts. And not only do they help you, but they help those around you, and it propagates out. So even though you think you're only helping yourself or your immediate family, it's what you pass along to them that they pass along to others that ends up helping the world.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Well, my friend, that's it.
All right. The
Or do you-
speed round.
How do people reach you?
Sure. sterlingpsychicmedium.com is the website. You can go to the book online tab to book a session. And then I also have a channel on YouTube, Sterling Psychic Medium, a YouTube
Okay.
channel as well, as you know. Yeah. So,
I know.
yep.
All right, you guys.
All good. All right.
We
Thank
love
you.
Thank you for everything. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Will do.
All right, honey. You have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too. All the best.
Cheers, everyone.